Generally speaking, if you were to ask most pro-Second Amendment people in America how they feel about the FBI, chances are their opinions are pretty low. But that's not what this is about, because this video is not about opinions. This video is about 3 incredibly alarming facts about the FBI that we've seen just recently that should be very alarming to us. There should be an alarm bell going off about what is taking place with the FBI regarding the Second Amendment. And there's 3 things. There's 3 things that should be setting off some alarm bells, and that's what we're going to talk about. The first one is they're harvesting CCW permits from counties across America to find out who has a concealed carry permit. Harvesting CCW permits is a big problem. Now, they've come to the state of Missouri and tried to harvest concealed carry permits, but the state of Missouri doesn't allow them to have those. It's against our state constitutional to give federal people anything that would go against our Second Amendment rights. However, that's not the case in 99% of the counties in this country. Most county sheriffs are relinquishing your information. So the FBI, first and foremost, knows a majority of Americans who holds a concealed carry permit, and they're keeping digital records of that. So it's technically not a gun registry because they don't know what guns you have, but they do know that you have guns and that you will be carrying guns on you in the general public, and they're putting together this massive database for reasons unknown. Now that alone is alarming, but let's move on. The second thing is they've altered the NICS account information. So when you fill out an application to pass a background check, it's given a lot more detail into what you're using that gun for, and do you reside within the city limits of your address. So like, for example, there's a lot of people that they put their city that they live in on their address, but they actually don't live within city limits, and that's very significant. Why is that significant? Well, because there's a lot of cities around this country that are very anti-Second Amendment, and it's going to infringe on your ability to buy firearms. So for example, if you live in like Portland, Oregon, and you go apply for a background check, you might not pass it now. Because if you put, yes, I live within the city limits of Portland, well, now it's illegal to own certain guns within that city limit, so you're probably going to get denied. More so, the FBI, now we're going to go back to the first thing, and that's why the first thing is so alarming. The FBI now can work with state, county, and city officials to let them know who is within their city limits carrying guns. So those 2 things, the altercation of the NICS is a big deal, and it's just been within the last couple days that's taken place. So harvesting concealed carry permits, altering the NICS to find your exact location. And the third thing is the self-indices form. They're literally taking forms to people on their front doorstep, asking them to relinquish their Second Amendment rights. And a lot of people are falling for it. A lot of people are falling for this. This form should be abolished right away. So anytime the FBI might show up at your house for whatever reason, they're going to show up with a form. And they're going to bully you into signing it. So definitely know that in advance. If for some reason they show up at your door, or they call you downtown, or whatever the case may be, they're going to ask you to self-incriminate yourself and relinquish your Second Amendment rights, and you will never pass a NICS background check again. And you didn't even do anything. You just simply signed what they asked you to sign. These three things are incredibly alarming. Incredibly alarming, because ultimately what they can do when you put all three together, they're harvesting concealed carry permits. All right, Joe Smith in Portland, he should not have those guns. Let's go bang on his door, bully him into signing a release of his Second Amendment rights. And it really becomes an anti-Second Amendment dictatorship, like a regime of FBI agents. Which is not what the FBI is for. I mean, goodness gracious, the ATF is bad enough. But these three things, they're terribly alarming. They're all recent. They're just recently harvesting permits. They just recently changed to the NICS, and they just recently added this indices form. We should be terribly alarmed as Americans, and I'm making this video to ask every human that sees this to reach out to your representative and demand that the FBI stand down on this attack on the Second Amendment. Demand that they stand down on it. This is awful what's taking place. I mean, and it's going unchecked for the most part. You know, the combination of these, all three are alarming. Let's put it that way. All three individually are alarming. But you put the three together, it's as if alarm sirens should be going off. You know, just call your House representatives, write letters, emails, just send. Demand that the FBI stand down on harvesting concealed carry permits, on altering their, you know, go back to the NICS account. They don't need to know whether you live within the city limits. And these self-indices form, those need to go away effective immediately. This attack on the Second Amendment has to stop, or at least be checked. I know it won't actually stop, but at least needs to be checked. Otherwise, it's just going to keep blasting forward. Any thoughts or insight on any of that, definitely put that below. Again, don't forget to call your representative. And if you like this video, click like and subscribe. Feel called to support this channel to Patreon. That link is below. But the most important part of this channel, we take prayer requests. So please don't ever hesitate to send that in. Thank you for watching this episode of God, Family, and Guns. And as always, love God, love your family, love guns.